And about 8,000 indigenous people from the Amazon rainforest and the Pacific gathered in Brazil's capital to demand an equal say with politicians. The country is hosting this year's UN Climate Conference. Members of about 200 indigenous communities from across South America and Oceania took part in an annual gathering of indigenous people in Brasilia. They demanded that indigenous leaders be given as much of a voice and power as world leaders. At the UN COP30 conference to be held in Amazon city of Belém in November. They also demanded direct funding for environmental protection and projects to help indigenous communities adapt to the effects of climate change.
We are going to let the world and the government know that us Indigenous people of the world, we're still here and we're not going nowhere.
Despite living oceans apart, the indigenous people of Amazon and Oceania all live on the front lines of global warming, with rising sea levels threatening to submerge low-lying Pacific islands like Fiji. In South America, a record drought last year laid the conditions for a particularly severe wildfire season. In Brazil alone, fires wiped out nearly 18 million hectares of Amazon rainforest. The indigenous people say it's important that their chiefs are invited to COP30 because leaders living in the villages are the ones who know the huge difficulties presented by climate issues. Brazil has announced the creation of a circle of indigenous leadership at COP30 to ensure that indigenous people are given a hearing. But indigenous communities want to make sure their involvement is more than just a show. The week-long rally in Brasilia, convened under the slogan "We Are the Answer," will include marches on government buildings. On Tuesday, Congress will hold a special session on indigenous rights. By holding COP30 in the Brazilian Amazon, President Lula da Silva aims to highlight the existential threat to the world's biggest rainforest. On a visit to the Amazon last week, he praised the important role played by indigenous communities in the fight against climate change, while pledging to end illegal Amazon deforestation. The leftist president has come under fire from climate activists for pushing a major offshore oil exploration project near the mouth of the Amazon River. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.